So you've been thinking about it, right? What does it actually take to start your own rooftop tent brand? Well, forget all the guesswork. We're going to break down the real number-by-number costs of importing these things directly from the source. I mean, you've seen the pictures, right? These incredible setups, and you start dreaming about building your own outdoor adventure brand. But it just seems like this huge, super expensive thing to get into, doesn't it? But what if I told you the price to get in is way, way lower than you think? I'm talking getting your foot in the door for less than the cost of a new phone. Seriously, let's dig in and find out how. Okay, so if it's that easy, why isn't everyone doing it? Well, the common wisdom is that importing is a total minefield. It's complicated, it's risky, and it's just for big companies with really deep pockets. And, that fear, it pushes a lot of people who could be entrepreneurs to just buy from expensive local distributors. And that just kills your profit margins before you've even made your first sale. But here's the thing. The reality is there's a much more direct path. You can import directly from the manufacturing hubs. It's totally viable, and it's a scalable strategy that works for pretty much everyone. Whether you're a solo entrepreneur, a small business, or hey, even if you're just an individual who wants a killer deal on a tent for your own adventures. All right, so let's talk about the absolute first step. Before you start dreaming about containers and warehouses, you have to start small. You begin by ordering just one single sample. This is, without a doubt, the lowest risk way to test everything. The product, the supplier, the whole process from start to finish. And the budget for this crucial first step, you ready for this? It's about $880. Yep, that's it. That is the total, all in, door-to-door cost to get a quality rooftop tent in your hands and prove to yourself that this whole thing actually works. So where does that $880 actually go? Let's break it down. The tent itself, a good quality soft shell, that's about $450. The rest? That covers all the logistics. Everything it takes to get it from the factory floor all the way to your front door. We're talking the pallet, the sea shipping, customs, final delivery, the whole shebang. It's a really transparent breakdown, so there are no hidden surprises. Okay, so you got your sample, you love it, it's a success, you're ready to grow. What's next? Well, the next step is all about scaling up, moving from that first test to really exploring what you can do in the market. So the next level up, you're looking at a budget of around $3,000. With that, you can go from just one sample to a small batch, maybe 5 to 10 tents. And now you're not just testing a product anymore, you're actually testing your local market. All right, ready to get a little more serious? With about $10,000, you can bring in over 20 tents. Now, this is kind of the sweet spot for starting a small rental business or even a little local wholesale operation. And then for a more traditional retail setup or a more established wholesale business, you're going to be looking at a budget of $20,000, maybe more. This is when you can bring in a full container with, say, 40 to 50 tents. Now you're seriously stocking up your inventory. So why is scaling up so important? This is where the magic really happens. Okay, listen to this. Your first sample tent, that cost you $880 landed. But when you order, say, 5 to 10, that cost per tent drops to around $640. And when you get a full container of 40 tents, you're down to about $600 a pop. This is the power of economies of scale. All those fixed costs, like shipping, get spread out over more units. And what does that mean for you? Your potential profit on every single tent you sell just goes way, way up. Okay, look, selling a generic tent is one thing. But building a brand, that's a whole different ballgame. And this is where something called OEM comes in. That stands for Original Equipment Manufacturer. Basically, it's customization. It's how you turn a standard product into your product. This whole process usually happens in about 3 stages. The most basic level, with a budget around 10 grand, is just getting your logo slapped on the tents. Simple enough. Then you move up to intermediate, and now you can start playing with colors, fabrics, window layouts, and then there's the advanced level. That's where you're actually creating brand new custom molded parts for your tent. And this just shows you the difference perfectly. Over here, you've got a great standard soft shell tent. Nothing wrong with it. But on the other side, you see this really unique hard shell design. That is what advanced customization gets you, a product that literally no one else has. But yeah, getting that unique look, it definitely comes with a price tag. Just look at this. Creating the mold for a new custom hardshell can cost anywhere from $12,000 up to $80,000. And remember, that's just for the mold, before you've even paid for a single tent. So, the smart move is probably to start with the basic branding and then work your way up from there. Okay, let's pull all of this together. What's the real bottom line here? For those of you who want to be entrepreneurs and for those who just want a great deal on a tent for yourselves. One of the biggest takeaways here is that this whole process isn't just for business owners. Not at all. If you're just an individual, you can hop on platforms like AliExpress, import a single tent for your own use, and you could save like 30 to 50% compared to what you pay at a local shop. That's a huge saving. So when it all boils down, it's a pretty simple trade-off, right? You can buy local, and what you get is convenience. You get the tent right away, but you pay a big premium for that. Or you can import directly. Yeah, you got to handle a bit more logistics and wait for it to ship, but the reward is a much, much lower cost. And if you're a business, that means a much higher potential for profit. So there you have it. We've seen that you can actually test the waters for under $1,000 and then scale up from there. The barrier to entry, whether you're starting a business or just buying for yourself, is so much lower than most people think. So really, the only question left is, what's holding you back?